What's up, you guys? How y'all doing? So, UH men's basketball played against Cal State Fullerton on Saturday night. It was the last place team in the Big West this season. They were 1-9 coming into Saturday, and they are now 1-10. I'm going to put up my banner here. UH men's basketball easily beats Cal State Fullerton. First win at home since 2022. First season sweep since 2020. So that really checked off the box. They really checked off the boxes there. And as you can see on this graphic here, that's your final score, 82-57. And I got to say, that was a very enjoyable game for me to watch. I'm going to get into that a little bit, but before we do, guys, I have two things to address. Number one, make sure to subscribe if you think that I'm worth listening to, or if you just want to see some more of my games. I have one scheduled for later today, maybe two if I can get something going. But anyway, the second thing is, before I get into this, I also want to address a possible correction I may have made, and that is that in my last recap with UH versus UC San Diego, I may have said something that indicated that Coach Aran Ganot might be out, his job might be in trouble if UH men's basketball does not make the Big West tournament this season. If I implied that Ganot's job is on the line, I did not. I was just pure speculation. I did not say that his job is on the line. I doubt that his job is on the line. But I just want to address that. I did not to start any rumors or anything, but not start any false rumors. But I just want to clear the air here. I did speculate. Now, this is the key word here, speculate, because it's not 100% confirmed yet. But everything else I said after that about, getting rid of Ganot or whatnot is the answer. No, it's not the answer. I'm going to tell you that right now. Everything I said after that about getting rid of Ganot being the answer, no. That's clearly not the solution. And seriously, everything I said about that stands. So, did I imply that Ganot's going to be out after this season? Absolutely not. The only thing I did say is that there's a chance that his job could be in jeopardy, but it's not confirmed. I just want to make that perfectly clear. But if it does happen, that's opening a can of worms. Because what Ganot's doing, he's doing everything right from what I can see. Or maybe just about everything right. You know what? Granted, UH was 4-6 coming into Fullerton. That was only the tip of the iceberg. When you look at what happened last year, he made some major changes to the lineup, and UH finally clicked. Unfortunately, that meant garbage time for Matthew Cotton, who transferred from Yale to the University of Hawaii, which was unfortunate, but that's the way it goes. You have to find a solution. Ganot is going to find a solution here. And after what happened against Cal State Fullerton, I like to think he took a step forward in that department. Now, I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I just want to address any possible misconception that I may have given. So, just want to get that out of the way. But I'm just saying that I'm sure that Ganot has nothing to worry about as far as his job's concerned. But really, keep it under lock and key, because that guy can figure it out. That guy can figure something out. If last season was any indication, yeah, he's going to figure something out. And it looked like he took a step forward in Saturday's game. So I'm going to get into that, and I'm going to get into that now. So you already see my banner. So let's get into this. Okay, Cal State Fullerton. This is a team that has given the University of Hawaii quite a bit of troubles in the last couple of years, because in 2023, UH went 0-3 against Fullerton, mainly because Juan Munoz went down with a season-ending injury with an Achilles tendon, with an Achilles injury, because that happened in the exhibition matchup against UH Hilo back then. And unfortunately, that led to some Jekyll and Hyde games that happened for much of that 22-23 season. And after UH was picked to finish second in the Big West that season, they ended up finishing fifth. Last year, or before I get to that, in 2023, UH lost at Cal State Fullerton in overtime. They had to empty the bench because of so many fouls being called. And as a result, UH ended up losing. And then when they come home, then when Cal State Fullerton visits here, UH has another lethargic performance, at least in the first half, where they only made 4 shots. And then they cleaned it up in the second half, and they still lost to Cal State Fullerton. Then they go to the Big West tournament, and they have to face Cal State Fullerton in the first round, and Fullerton sent them home the losers again. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, when last season comes around, 23-24, UH men's basketball loses again off a long-range three by Javon McClanahan that was later negated. Unfortunately, it was after the buzzer, and unfortunately, it was not honored, and UH would lose by 1 in overtime in December 2023. But at that time, the University of Hawaii was fighting them, was kind of, or not so much fighting, but trying to find themselves, because last season was supposed to be a payoff year with 6 seniors, 2 grad transfers, one who's been around for 3 seasons, and Juan Munoz. But still, what ended up happening? They had a turnover back then that they really shouldn't have committed. At least some of the guys did anyway. There was Noel Coleman, Bernardo da Silva, or Juan Munoz, just to name a few. But this year, they righted the ship, because if you saw in my first recap with UH versus Cal State Fullerton at Titan Gym in Cal State Fullerton, UH got out to a lead, and Fullerton was able to stay close, but UH was able to come through the winners 95-86. And the fact that they scored 95 points there was a big statement. This time, they beat Cal State Fullerton 82-57 by 25 points. Now, what happened was University of Hawaii pounced on Fullerton right away. Now, there was some holdups because the shot clock was not working properly, and UH got on the board by Akira Jacobs scoring UH's first 8 points of the contest. And even during then, that was when the shot clock malfunctions were taking place. University of Hawaii used that to their advantage and hit some key shots. Akira Jacobs had the first 8 points, as I said, but the guy who led the way was Harry Rouhliadeff with 14 points and 11 rebounds, which was his first career double-double. And definitely, that was the best I'd seen Harry perform, at least on home court anyway, since the Oakland game on Christmas Day in the Diamond Head Classic. And that's the kind of performance that Harry really needed, because although he got 21 at UC Davis, it ended up in a loss in the final 7.5 seconds. Tom Beattie also chipped in 14, but he had 2 points. And as for Akira Jacobs, he had the first 8 points of the game for UH, but he was held to 2 points the rest of the way. And those 2 points came in the second half. Is that a bit of a black mark against Akira Jacobs? No, it's not. It's just the way it goes sometimes. But UH hit the ground running despite those shot clock violations to the tune of a 22-2 run. And when you look back against UC San Diego, they romped UH with a 22-3 run after a Tanner Christensen flagrant foul. So you could say, in a way, that UH pulled a UC San Diego on Cal State Fullerton. Granted, that was a 22-2 run and not 22-3. But still, I was very, very pleased with what I saw from UH against Cal State Fullerton. That was probably the most complete performance I'd seen from the University of Hawaii all year long, because Fullerton only led for 53 seconds. Now, granted, you have to feel a little bad for Cal State Fullerton, and I did as well, because after I rewatched the broadcast, one of their horses, John Mikey Square, was a no-show because he had been out for 5 straight games with an ankle injury. And it showed, because Cal State Fullerton was down by as much as 32 in the second half. And what also happened in the game in the first half did not help them at all. When Zion Richardson took a fall with an ankle injury of his own, and he did not return. So I think it's pretty safe to say that at this point, Cal State Fullerton is likely not going to the Big West tournament for the second year in a row. And that's really unfortunate for them, because, you look at that team, Cal State Fullerton, they're a team you can't take lightly, and nobody knows that better than the University of Hawaii, okay? Especially when we lost 5 in a row against them going back to the Big West tournament in 2022, the semifinal matchup. And that was because at that time, Cal State Fullerton had a grad transfer in EJ Anasicki, and he was the big pain in the butt there. And UH just couldn't hit shots. Nobody, and neither did Cal State Fullerton for that matter. But unfortunately, neither team broke more than 10 made shots in both halves in that semifinal game, which was very, very, very unfortunate. Okay? But none of that took place on Saturday night. And definitely that game deserves an A grade for me. An A grade from me, I should say. Because UH got out front and they did not let up. And when they put that run on Cal State Fullerton early, they were able to cruise. Because on Thursday night against UC San Diego, Ryan Rapp had told Gary Dickman of ESPN Honolulu that they got a little too comfortable with that 9-point lead. UH did not make the same mistake twice this time, because they hit the ground running. And although Fullerton cut the gap down to 14 at one point in the second half, UH was not intimidated. And I'm thinking that they may have tapped into my thought process, because I mentioned against UC San Diego that somebody had to make the UH men's basketball team like mad, really mad, and they did that. Somebody made, and it looked like that performance against UCSD was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, because UH got mad by that performance. They lost to a team that they had never lost to before at home in 6 meetings all time. And it happened this past Thursday night. So, obviously I would give, like I said, I would give that game an A. But I would also like to give a real shout out to Logan Robeson for making his first 3-pointer as a Rainbow Warrior. Take a look at this. Yeah, Logan Robeson made a 3 as his first made 3-pointer as a Rainbow Warrior. Now, Robeson is a redshirt freshman, But keep an eye on him because either next season or the season after that, permitting he does choose to stay, he's going to be a real cog in this machine. Just like how I was saying at the start of the season with AJ Economou, but unfortunately, he's only been put in for garbage minutes, and so is Obasohan. Now, I've been wondering, what is it going to take for guys like Osohan and AJ to get the same kind of opportunity that Aaron Hunkin-Clater is getting? And it seems like the only criteria is if you're a point guard. Now, are Economou and Obasohan point guards? No, but do I think they would make good point guards? So. But if they have point guard experience, more power to them. Am I saying that they do have point guard experience? No, but if they do, that's good. Maybe they might get an opportunity. But something tells me that this is their first season, and it seems like unless everybody on the squad is in some trouble, it seems like the only guy who's going to get a legit opportunity is probably Osohan Obasohan, because Osohan goes for probably 200, and that guy's got some beef on him. And if he were given that opportunity, he could have a coming out party himself, like how Aaron Hunkin-Clater did in the Diamond Head Classic. But, it is what it is. But still, I was very pleased with how UH was able to turn back Cal State Fullerton. And this was a big win for them, not just for the reasons on my banner here, but they had to prove to themselves that they can beat any team, anytime, any place, anywhere. I don't care if you're at the bottom of the standings, you're in the middle of the pack, or you're the perennial front runners. You got to come in with a lot of fire and get really mad. Like there's a million other places I'd rather be. Or if you want to be on the court, like I said in the UC San Diego game, you better come out with the mindset of, we're going to take these MFers to the doghouse. And that's what UH did to Cal State Fullerton. Now, granted, Cal State Fullerton was shorthanded without John Mikey Square, but you have to start somewhere. You have to click sometime. And I think from what I saw, in my opinion, this was a good step forward for UH to click. To finally start to prove to the Stanshare Center crowd that had this 3-game skid not happened, we'd be making a play for first place. Okay? Obviously, CSUN got away from them because they turned up the pressure. Same goes with UC San Diego. But obviously, if they can avoid little mistakes and not get completely flustered or act like everything, not act like where it's Christmas tree lights where one goes, they all go. But if they can come out with a purpose and actually prove to everybody that we can defend home court, don't give up on us, that may just be what we need as we hit the second half of conference play. Now, we go on the road for Cal Poly and UC Santa Barbara. And I'll say this right now. University of Hawaii has no excuse to do no worse than a split. If they can come away with 2 wins over UC Santa Barbara, that'll go a long way for the rest of the season. And obviously, UH owes one to Cal State, to UC Santa Barbara after what happened at the buzzer with Gitas Nemiksha's last-second shot just bouncing off the rim. And I got to tell you, that was tough to watch. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And remember, subscribe, go Bows, and we'll see you all for Cal Poly on Thursday. Well, I'm a punter, everyone.